breathe purple and gold? Are you ready to hoist the colors? Now, time for the most in-depth look at the world of ECU athletics. Welcome in to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game. Watch the show live on Facebook and at 943thegame.com. Now, here's your host, Stephen Igo.
Welcome in, Hoist the Colors on a Friday, January 17th edition of the program. The coloring looks a little off on the broadcast, but hey, if you're listening, it's all good. Nobody needs to see what I look like anyways. I'm just glowing like a ghost. Philip Pilkington behind the glass. He's going to come fix the camera. Bobby Harward is also a part of today's show. We'll get to him here in a second. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, and X. If you got a question, a comment, a concern, let us know over the course of the next hour. We'll get to that. We're going to get here in a minute Bobby's reaction to some of the interviews we've done with some new football staffers this week. We'll get to that and more. And Philip Pilkington has re-entered the production room. We also have Pancake hanging out, his Pittsburgh Steelers out of the playoffs. And so at some point we'll get his take on that. Let's introduce today's cast. Philip, what's going on with our color, man?
I don't know, man. It was on the setting it's normally on, and like in the camera it looked fine, and then on the video stream it looks weird. And now this door, who already didn't have closed, now not want to close it all, and Pancake's having to put like all his body weight into this door, and it's still not closing. We're having loads of fun here. This is Friday, baby. It's great.
Technical difficulties. That's the way to start the show. Hey, if we're going to do it, might as well do it on a Friday and go out with a bang. Shores 444, by the way, before we get to Bobby checking out the comment section. Hey, Opal as well. Missed the last few streams. Hope y'all ready for a Buckeye National Championship. We'll get to that later in the program. We'll make NFL picks as well. Yeah, we actually didn't go live yesterday, Shores, because we had taped the Mike Sirianno strength interview, strength coach interview, so that may be why you missed it. But either way, glad to have you back. Bobby Harward is rocking his Washington Redskins, I guess it's a throwback shirt, but obviously in honor of the Commanders moving on to the divisional round, the divisional doink. Bobby, congrats on your Washington Commanders. How fired up for you are this weekend?
Dude, I am pumped. I'm trying to keep my just a win. I don't think we're going to win this game, so I'm trying to keep my hopes in check, I guess is the best way to phrase it. I'm expecting us to lose, but I'm trying to enjoy the game and not live every second of every play so stressful as I did last week against Tampa Bay.
It's going to be even worse. I hate to tell you.
I know. It's probably going to. I'm just trying to prepare myself mentally, I guess, is the best way to put it. I haven't experienced a divisional game since 2005, so it's been a very long time. And in terms of my Redskins shirt, I actually do not own any Commanders apparel. I have yet to come across, given myself the courage to purchase something, partially in hope that their name gets changed again. I just don't know if that will be happening. I would love a Red Wolves or Red Tails switcheroo there.
Well, if they win the Super Bowl, they can never change it, right?
Oh, exactly. And with the way Jaden Daniels is playing, I don't know if they ever will either, because people are buying Jaden Daniels jerseys left and right. So why are you going to change the name? At the very least, just update the uniforms. Go back to the old Redskins uniforms and just put Commanders on it. I'll be happy. But the helmets with the W on it, I kind of like as is. Maybe just adding the 3 stripe down the middle instead of the 1 singular gold stripe will do as well. But, yeah, you're right. Probably going to stay with Commanders forever.
We'll see how it plays out. Shout out. There we go. There's the lighting we're looking for. Philip just risked his life to turn on the overhead light above me. So you got it done, Philip. Kudos to you.
Thanks, but you're not supposed to tell Henry that I stand on chairs.
No, you just have an extremely long reach.
You said risked his life. That gives a hint as to what I did.
But, hey, you got it done, and you're still alive, and that's all that matters. So I'm proud of you, man. Lane Smith in the comment section says, Eagles-Washington game incoming for the NFC Championship. That would be something else for sure if we saw that NFC East battle next week. All right, let's start with ECU. We'll circle back to some playoff picks, and so we got to pick the college football championship. We'll get a standings update as well, because much like the Commanders, Bobby keeps winning. So we'll break that down. ECU related, Bobby. We'll start with you because Philip and I have obviously been a part of the show the last couple of days, getting to know a few of the new ECU staff members. Noah Joseph was on Wednesday's show in studio. ECU general manager, the first ever GM in ECU football history. And then yesterday we had the new strength coach, Mike Siriano. So what were your takeaways as somebody who obviously follows the program and is interested in Blake Carroll's hires to this point?
Well, first off, I thought they were terrific interviews. I think kudos to you. Kudos to Philip for producing them. Like I thought, especially Noah's for me was very informative because there was a lot of questions for me is how is this role what is this going to turn into here at ECU? Is it going to look different than what he did at Purdue? Kind of what are his day-to-day tasks that he's going to do as the GM? How is he going to help build the roster? How is he going to help Blake Harrell out, these coaching staffs? And so hearing some of his process and the way that he does things and what he expects here was very, very informative. Coach Siriano's interview, to me, fired me up. He's probably, I mean, even of some of the position coaches in the DC, he's probably one of the most exciting hires for me on this staff because of his success in previous stops. Like I'm really excited to see how he transforms these student athletes and these players' bodies and increases that weight, but also builds speed and what they look like, you know, after they develop through the spring and summer and come out into fall camp.
You know, he talked about basically, Bobby, they've already overhauled their eating plan, their nutrition, which I thought was interesting. And look, I mean, different strength coaches have different philosophies, all that sort of stuff. But I just felt like personally, and again, I'm not trying to take a shot at anybody, there were certainly guys who did develop, but I don't want to say like nobody in the program developed over the course of the last 5 years. But there were just a lot of linemen and defensive players that came in with big frames that I feel like did not develop the way I thought they would, or the way that they developed, quite frankly, in the Ruff McNeil era. You know, guys who came in, you know, we've pointed to a Bryce Williams, you know, long, lanky bodies that then add the necessary muscle. Look, some people aren't built like that. It doesn't happen for everybody, but I just feel like ECU hopefully is in a better position now to develop because you always have to be able to develop talent. Sure, it may enter the portal now, whereas 10 years ago it didn't. But, you know, for me, like hearing that and hearing that they're going to go places they've never been, I think that made me feel better as somebody who covers the program because you still got to be able to develop some of those diamonds in the rough into players, specifically in terms of adding weight.
No doubt. I mean, first off, there's going to be no more soft Freddies, so good thing there. That had me rolling. That was my big takeaway of those two interviews. But no, to your point, I mean, that's what ECU has done. They've taken guys that maybe are bigger safeties, but they've been able to put on weight and move them down to linebacker, and same thing, linebacker to DNs, because the likelihood that we get a 6'5", 245 defensive end that can go bust his tail and rush the passer it's just not going to happen here. Those guys are going to go to the P4 and get a lot of money. So we have to develop those guys, put on that weight. Dayon Pratt is another one that comes to example. His nickname was Sticks for a reason. He came in thin as he can be, and then in 3 or 4 years, he put on a ton of weight. And he's a guy, Sam Danka reminds me a lot of Dayon Pratt.
All right, Bobby Harward with us and Philip Hilgen producing as well. Since we last chatted 2 weeks ago, Bobby, when we first heard that Jason Jones was going to be the ECU cornerbacks coach, he then took another job. I don't even know if that's official yet, but the word was he was going to go to Alabama, his alma mater. ECU has since hired Teron Williams as corners coach. He joins a defensive staff that obviously will be coordinated by Josh Aldridge. Now, Teron has been at ECU before. He was the director of player development. He had worked with Blake Harrell at Lenore Ryan under Coach Houston. So another guy coming back who has some experience on staff. Has not worked with Josh Aldridge before, but what do you think of that hire?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're bummed you miss out on the first guy after, but I'm good with this hire. I mean, especially this late in the cycle, it's really hard to bring in a guy as Jason's caliber. And to have a guy come in that has experience working with Blake, I think is important. And I think Blake's done a good job of showing he's willing to step out of his comfort zone. I mean, we saw it last year with Magazoo and Coach Zachary, and then we saw it this year, with the Coach Aldridge bringing in as the new DC, and originally the original corners coach was going to be has never worked with before. So he's willing to step out of his comfort zone. I think it will help that Coach Williams has had experience with Blake, because he'll also be able to relay to Coach Aldridge, hey, this is kind of what Blake's hinting at here, or this is what he's getting at if Coach Aldridge is having trouble understanding what Blake's wanting.
All right. Robert says, like how Coach SIG, S-I-G is how he prefers to him, will add explosiveness in the benching, squatting through equipment that measures. He also has some old school Connors in him with accountability and hard work. So there's Robert's take on Coach Sirianno. All right. Check out those interviews. They're archived on podcast, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, X, all that good stuff. All right. ECU plays tomorrow in college basketball. Do you know who they play, Bobby?
Wichita State.
There you go. I'm proud of you,
I'm surprised after that eye roll.
I was expecting. I was hoping to put you on the spot and surprise you, but yeah, I guess we'll get a line on that tonight. ECU 9-9, and it's just been a struggle. Look, I mean, we've
7-9.
Yeah, 7-9 against Division I competition. 1-4 in conference. They just can't shoot consistently. Although they did shoot a better percentage last game. Although R.J. Felton did a lot of that. They're continuing to play hard, and they've played good teams, but this is where it starts to worry me, guys. Back-to-back road games at Wichita. I assume they're staying on the road at Tulsa.
No.
They're not.
They're not. They were.
What?
They got approved for a charter flight to come back, like financially, so they're going to come back. I don't get it.
That's putting more on the players' bodies than just staying there.
I agree. And here's the thing. Look, if it was a noon tip tomorrow, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But you're going to get back after midnight Sunday, so you're not even going to get a full night's sleep Saturday. Yeah, you get film and practice in your own gym Saturday night, but then, Sunday, my bad, after a half night's sleep, and then you get to sleep in your own bed again, but it ain't like they're going to class Monday. It's a holiday, so there is no class. I think they're going to take practice in the morning and then fly out, mid-morning, late morning, but I think it's dumb to come back. I'm just going to say it.
I'm going to say it now. They're going to lose to Tulsa. They're doing that stupid stuff. They're going to lose to Tulsa. That's idiotic.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's, obviously to charter back, I guess maybe that is a cheaper option than staying on the road for a couple more days. But, yeah, I don't know. You play at Wichita Saturday at 7 o'clock, and then you play at Tulsa 8 o'clock on Tuesday. I mean.
So they're flying out today.
Yeah.
What the hell are they going to do Saturday during the day? They're going to get kicked out of the hotel at like 10:30 or 11 o'clock for checkout. That's the other thing. If you're not staying, you then have nothing to do all day Saturday. If you stayed there Saturday, because I don't think you should fly to Tulsa Saturday. I think you should just get up Sunday morning and fly to Tulsa.
Yeah, I guess you just go to Coke Arena extra early. Get some shots.
What do you do?
Hey, I mean, there's nothing to do in Wichita, I can tell you that, outside of going to the Wichita State basketball game.
Chip and Scooter found one brewery there one time the night that they didn't have any clothes. I mean, they had the clothes they were wearing. But the night their luggage got left in, like, Dallas or whatever, and they found, like, one brewery. And that was it.
Seems like a lot of travel when you're already out that way on that part of the country. Yeah, to go there, come back, and then go right back, that's a lot. So I'll try to get more information on why that decision was made later this weekend. And it's over the weekend. You brought the point, and a holiday weekend. So it's like you're not missing class. Just a little head scratch in there.
In any Division I program, a tutor goes on the road with you. Like, you should have an academic person on the road with you regardless if you even class day. I mean, and then on top of that, and not only are you getting back Sunday, like, you can use that day to practice at one of the gymnasiums. Like, one of those teams will let them practice there, even if they head to Tulsa early. Like, they will be able to practice in Tulsa's arena. I'm sure they would let them do that.
So last year, ECU had a Texas trip March 3rd through the 6th. They played at North Texas on a Sunday at 3 o'clock. stayed there, and then played at SMU, which, I mean, they're both in the Dallas area, a little different. But I know in the past, this Tulsa swing, I want to say either the first year under Schwartz or under Dooley, they did this and stayed on the road when they played at Tulsa a few days later. But I don't know.
I didn't even think about it. You said we're trying to get more clarity. I haven't listened to the press conference today. Have you? I should have had Dom ask that.
I did not.
Go?
I was not. I didn't even get an email about it, so I was unaware.
Oh, sorry. Should have forwarded you the email. I didn't realize you didn't know. No, we sent Dom. It was at 11 this morning. So
something about actually, I did get an email. It was just earlier in the week. I forgot about it. That's my fault. So
I was about to say, are you getting shunned from ECU basketball?
There was a I'm not, but there was a Malcolm Gray email who handles all ECU media relations that somehow didn't make it to my inbox.
That's happened before. Yeah. I think it's whatever system like ECU uses. Because one time Malcolm sent me an email, and I know he put me on the list, and he even texted me about it because I didn't respond. He's like, "See my email?" I'm like, "No." And then there was another time I emailed him, and then he didn't get it. And I know I sent it to him, and I screenshotted it in my sent. And he's like, "Yeah, I trust you. I know you sent it. It's the
technology.
System. Yeah, I think it's because it's the system that UNC uses. All the other, everybody's got to use it. So it's probably all 15 schools or whatever have to use the same system, and it's probably crappy because Carolina's doing it. So we're gonna blame them. Blame the Tar Heels.
Pirates at Wichita at Tulsa. Do they win one of these games?
I was originally going to say they win at Tulsa, but after what I just heard about them traveling, I don't think they do. I think Wichita is dangerous enough to win. I know they were 1-3, but they have not looked bad in conference play to me. So I think they could. I think Wichita gets that done there on the road, but it just really depends what ECU team shows up. I mean, are they going to be able to shoot the basketball? They have not done that consistently. The other night against North Texas, they're able to shoot the three, and they actually shoot the three from a pretty decent percentage at 40%, which is good. But then in the free throws, they shoot 40% from the free throw line. And they were in control of that game, or they had a chance. I wouldn't say in control. They had a chance until about 5 or 6 minutes left, and then they just go on another scoring drought. So it just really depends what team shows up shooting the basketball. I will, like I said last week, give them credit where credit's due. They never give up. They're always giving effort. So I want to give kudos to that and don't want to be all negative here. It's just, to me, it's been a really frustrating season. And I think what's also frustrating is you can see, and this is something we said back in May, you can see their talented basketball players on the roster, but just all these pieces together, the puzzle does not fit. And that's what makes it frustrating.
Mike Schwartz is a combined 3-0 at Wichita State and at Tulsa. So maybe this will be an unbeaten ECU road trip.
The tough thing here is Wichita struggled. They started 0-3 because their defense looked horrendous. To Bobby's point, they were good offensively. They were a good street ball team. They just couldn't play defense. Their defense stepped it up the other night against Charlotte. I think they're going to build off that performance. I think the defense will look better. I'm worried about the Wichita. I felt good about Tulsa. But now with this travel.
Tulsa's terrible.
Yeah, but with this travel tomfoolery, I'm I don't know.
Tulsa,
hey,
in the net rankings,
Tulsa
guys,
has more wins.
301. 300.
Tulsa has more conference wins. They're 2-2.
They are. I think the Pirates win at Tulsa, even with the travel. I think Wichita is going to be tough. If they can make it 3 in a row at Wichita, that'd be pretty impressive. All right, let's get a break in. We'll come back. We'll transition. We'll talk some NFL playoffs. We'll make our picks. We'll do that and more. This is Hoist the Colors on a Football Friday.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
Living easy is the sound of children laughing as you make memories with neighbors and friends. It's the sound of nothing at all. It's the smell of the salt air. Hear the waters against the marsh grass. See the beauty of our coast. Bow Coast, located in Beaufort, North Carolina. Southern Living's best small town.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked to order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
Sawyer's Fun Park in Winterville is now open. With over 40,000 square feet of family fun, daily money-saving deals, and a full-service restaurant, Sawyer's Fun Park is guaranteed to have something the whole family will love. Test your ninja skills on our 2-story obstacle course or head over to one of our 5 rock walls and race your friends to the top. And when you've worked up an appetite in our laser tag arena or our one-of-a-kind ropes course, grab a table over at the restaurant and try our world-famous Southern Monster Fries. Reserve your spot today at SawyersFunPark.com and come join in on the fun.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
Here there be pirates. Back to Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo. How good is this on 94.3 The Game?
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the Colors. It's a Football Friday. We only have a few of these left. I mean, we got to soak these in, gentlemen. We have got to soak these in because soon enough, Football Fridays are going to be a thing in the past, unless you want to count the NFL draft, free agency as a Football Friday, which I guess in some ways it is, but... All right, let's get into our picks and our NFL playoff discussion. And we've got a new member of the panel, an honorary guest, Nick Sampson, a.k.a. Pancake, a.k.a. Steelers fan, a.k.a. Mike Tomlin. What should happen with Mike Tomlin? Should he be fired or should he be retained?
At this point, you have to keep him.
Yeah.
It is too late in the process to now say, like, it's time to make a change, especially after keeping him for X number of years when he does the same thing. It wasn't fully a Mike Tomlin thing, though. The team just looked disinterested, as you said.
Yeah.
They looked bored. They didn't want to be there. And when you lose for a month straight, the last one was December 1st, and you go to a playoff game and just get trounced, you kind of give up at that point. And they looked like done. They're just done with football.
You kind of like just look at the Steelers, and I mean, you look at it. Yeah, they ended the season badly, but really all their losses were to good teams. Yeah. And at the end of the day, they just were an average team, and they lost to good teams because they don't have a quarterback still, right? I mean, that's how I see it.
They don't have an offense.
Yeah.
The only thing keeping them afloat is their defense.
Yeah, and I don't like unless you hit on a quarterback through the draft. I just don't know if it changes no matter who the coach is.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's a coaching thing.
Yeah. All right, there is your brief Steelers discussion. Last thing, what happens with Russell Wilson? Any shot he's back next year?
Probably not. I think he's going to go get a veteran deal somewhere like the Titans. They won't. If they pick a quarterback, they're probably on another year of mediocrity.
Yeah.
So he'll probably wind up there. They should take Travis Hunter 1-1. He'll go somewhere where they need a quarterback for a bridge year.
Mike Tomlin will roll on as the Pittsburgh head coach, hopefully, because I just love seeing Steeler fans freak out about it. No offense. No. All right, let's get back to our NFL picks. Philip Pilkington and Bobby Harward are hanging on. We also have what was that, like Africa down there? South America.
South America.
South America.
South America. I knew you changed the background on this thing. There was like a multi-box that had already been made, and that's which one I went with. And
it's a good geography.
We're a global news company now?
We are a global news company now. Who knew?
We've got fans listening from everywhere.
Let's see if that. Nope, we definitely don't.
That's really disorienting if you're watching our stream. But
whoops,
we'll figure it out.
Hey, there we go.
There you go. There's our look. All right, we're triple boxing it because we don't have the quad box necessary right now. All right, Texans at Chiefs. We'll start there, gentlemen. The Chiefs are an 8-point favorite. Philip and I were having this discussion. I tell you, before we do that, should we do a standings update for Bobby's sake?
Yeah, for Bobby's sake.
Yeah.
Please.
Bobby is at 133 and something. I'm at 130 and 3 more losses than Bobby. And then there's 50 feet of crap, and then there's Igo.
Yep, that's unnecessary. So you're 3 games behind Bobby.
Yeah.
And I am in last. Nick is our honorary guest picker today. He does not count for against the standings, but he is going to try to outdo his brother Joe from last year, who also finished him last. Chiefs are 8-point favorite. All right, we were having this discussion pre-show, Philip. At some point, the Chiefs just have to lose one of these games because you can't win the Super Bowl every year, and you can't just lose to Tom Brady or in a miraculous fashion to the Bengals. You just got to lose the playoff game that you're supposed to win.
Yeah.
Does it happen this year? I'll let you start it off, Philip.
No.
Or this week.
No. To your point, yes. Like Brady, we talked about, lost to the Jets at some point, and there's always been some weird fluke ones. I just don't think this Houston's team's good enough. I'm going to run KC here. Yeah, 8 points is a decent amount, but I think it's like a 24-10 type game. I think it's kind of one of those dry, boring, Kansas City's going to win it the whole time, yeah, there's not much to it. If you got one game you're going to miss this weekend, I say miss that one.
Chiefs-Texans played in the regular season, and I remember it as a pretty boring game as well. I can't remember when that was. It was later in the season, but it was pretty matter-of-fact. Chiefs won. I think we see a similar story here. I think Chiefs let them hang around a little bit, score late to pull away, and they win by 10. So give me the Chiefs to cover. Bobby?
So the Chiefs won by 8 in that first game during the season, which is what the line is set at. I actually think the Texans cover here. I do think it's a boring game, but the Chiefs have just never really blown anybody out. The thing that gives me some hesitation is it's going to be 25 degrees tomorrow in Kansas City. So I worry about that Texans team, but I do think this is the year Kansas City loses and doesn't make the Super Bowl. I don't think this is the week. So a little foreshadowing.
Nick, who you got here?
I'm riding with the Chiefs. They're just too strong. I think that Texans team came out last week. They looked really good, but the weather's a factor. You have the Chiefs, Andy Reid, and they're ready to play. They've had a couple weeks off, so everybody's healthy, and you get Taylor Swift in the box, so who knows what Travis Kelce's going to do. That's a dangerous team when they're healthy and rested.
Are you a Swiftie like your brother?
Absolutely not.
Okay, I didn't think you were.
They're a dangerous team when the NFL is looking out for them because of Taylor Swift as well. All right, Commanders at the Lions. This is the Saturday night game. This is Bobby's game of the week for obvious reasons. The line is 9.5. That is a lot of points. That also makes me want to take the Lions because it just feels like it's too many points, which usually leads me to believe the other team is going to end up covering when I feel that way because I stink at picks. But I'm going to use my reverse ego, and I'm going to pick the Commanders to cover because I think the Lions are going to cover. If that makes any sense at all because I'm so bad at picks. So I'm going against myself here. I'm picking the Commanders. I'm picking the Commanders to cover just for Bobby. So, Bobby, we'll let you go second here. Who you got?
Well, I appreciate that. I'm going to go Commanders to cover as well. I'm going to go, for the record, I'm going Lions money line. I do think the Lions win this game. But outside of the Week 1 loss to Tampa Bay, every game Washington has played in has been close. I mean, they lost to Pancake Steelers by 1 point, the Eagles by 8, the Cowboys by 8, and the Ravens by 7. So they have not lost by 10 yet. I think they still keep it close. I think it's going to be a fun game, but at the end of the day, Ben Johnson and that Lions offense is going to be too much.
Philip?
I want to remind everyone they also beat the Panthers by 33. That just shows you how poorly your organizations run when you lose by 33 to Washington. But, hey, Dan Snyder's gone, so maybe you're no longer a poorly run organization. I always say 10 is too much in an NFL game. However, this will be one of those games where they get up probably 10-0 early. Washington scores and cuts it to 3. They extend it back to 10. Washington cuts it to 3, and I think it just happens that way all the way down. They put you guys away late and beat you, probably like, 27-17, 28-17, something like that. Sorry, Bobby. I think it's going to be a backdoor bad beat. They score with like 3 minutes to go and put it away.
Pancake.
Riding the Lions. Back indoors. Jared Goff, David Montgomery's back, Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta, too many weapons. That defense is ready to go. They're rested as well. And the Commanders coming off a long game, a tight game against the Bucs. I think this just leans Lions all the way, and they're probably going to blow them out.
All right,
I just want to remind everybody, it's a nameless, faceless opponent. So all those names mean nothing.
The Washington football team will lose. Is that better?
Fair.
All right, Lions is the overwhelming pick for Philip and Nick. And then Bobby and I are riding the Commanders. How does it feel to be riding with me? Although, really, I want to pick the Lions here, so we'll see.
You know what? I'm just so thankful and appreciative. Like, that's just true friendship right there. You got my back. I appreciate it.
Somebody's got to be on your side, man. The Rams are at the Eagles. Eagles 6.5. And I'm just going to keep this going. I want to pick the Rams here, and so I'm going to go Eagles. See how this works out for me. Philip, who you got?
I'm going to regret doing this.
Don't do it.
I'm going to regret it. Even though when this playoff started, I predicted the Eagles to make the Super Bowl. But I thought they were playing Tampa Bay this week, and Bobby's Commanders made that a different story. I'm picking the Rams outright. The Rams go to Philly and pull off the upset. Sorry, Mark Miller. It's my upset pick for the week. I got the Rams all the way.
All right, Bobby. Are you riding with the Rams or the Eagles here?
Well, Philip, Lane Smith is not going to be happy with you because his Eagles there. But originally, I was actually riding with Philip and going to pick the Rams. And then I just checked that they played on November 24th in L.A., and the Eagles won by 17. And Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp were both playing in that game, as well as Matt Stafford. So I'm switching, and I'm going Eagles.
Pancake.
I saw a stat today that said Matthew Stafford is 1-8 in snow games, and it is projected to snow in Philadelphia. So I am riding the Eagles, and Jalen Hurts will probably run for 800 yards.
I do want to
tush-push the whole time.
I do want to remind everyone, this is the 4th all-time playoff meeting amongst these teams. The home team has won once. That was when the Rams beat the Eagles in the 0-1 championship game. But when the Rams are the LA Rams, not the St. Louis Rams, and someone has to cross the country, the road team is undefeated all time. The Eagles won the 49 championship game in the LA Coliseum, and then in 89 in the divisional round, the Rams went to Philly and won in Veterans Stadium.
There you go. There's your useless trivia, but that's why Philip is rolling with the Rams here. Hey, my dad is a L.A. Rams fan.
Why? What made him become a Rams fan? I'm just curious.
Like, he grew up somehow, I think, only getting Rams game. I don't know the official story off this satellite. He was able to watch the L.A. Rams.
Vince Ferragamo.
As a youngster, and got into the L.A. Rams. And then when they moved to St. Louis, he got out of it. Then when they moved back to L.A., he got back into it. We're celebrating his birthday this weekend. Happy birthday, Billy Igo. Today is his birthday, so I don't know if he's listening or not.
Happy birthday, Mr. Igo.
Hopefully the Rams get it done for him.
Happy birthday.
There you go. Shout out on the air. Ravens are at the Bills in the game of the week, maybe the game of the entire playoffs. The Ravens are a 1-point favorite here on the road. Philip and I talked at length about this game pre-show. It feels like Josh Allen's year for me. I think Philip may feel the same way. I want to pick the Bills, so I'm going Ravens. and keeping the reverse psychology going. We'll see how it works out. But I'm pulling for the Bills, picking the Ravens. The Ravens are a 1-point favorite. Philip.
It's weird. At the beginning of the season, I picked the Ravens to make it to the Super Bowl. I said they're going to be a wild card, so they're going to lose the division to the Bengals. At the beginning of the playoffs, I said the Bills. I don't know what to go here. I think I'm just going to go with the home team. It's going to be tough to win in Orchard Park, but something like gut telling me is to take the Ravens, but I don't know. I'm going to take the Bills at home anyways.
Bobby?
Yeah, I'm going Bills as well. I was wondering if we're going to go opposite again here. So technically, we could be tied at the end of this week if depending how the first 3 games go of the week. But yeah, I'm going Buffalo.
Pancake, your pick here. I'm sure you're pulling against the Ravens.
Yep, easily Bills. Other than the divisional rivalry, I think the Bills just at home, probably the strongest team in the league. That team is red hot and they're ready to go.
I was telling Philip earlier, I was like, for me, home field advantage obviously matters in the NFL, but home field advantage in this game, Baltimore and Buffalo would seem to have a big advantage with their home crowd. And so I do like Buffalo for that reason. Lane Smith, by the way, Philip says, you must have fallen out of your chair and hit your head. Eagles by 13 is who he's going with.
Pancake has not tackled me today, but I don't know, man. It's just this weird, their ability to push the ball down the field. The Eagles play calling, maybe it was vanilla last week because it was able to be vanilla, but man, they get after the quarterback, and I think if they force the Eagles to play behind the sticks, everything logical is they're not going to win this game. It's just one of those weird gut feelings every now and you get one that doesn't make sense.
And that's how it works out in the playoffs sometimes, for sure. All right, we'll get a break in. Shout out to Basil's Restaurant and Pizzeria for sponsoring today's show and Bobby Harwood's appearance. 1675 East Fire Tower Road. Check them out by the AMC Movie Theater. Great salads, great pasta, pizza, sandwiches, and more. Shout out to Basil's. All right, we'll be right back after this. We'll switch gears, talk the national championship in college football.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227.
Looking for a great deal on a new Nissan?
At Greenville Nissan, we've got a great selection of new Nissans for under $30,000.
The stylish Nissan Sentra, offering top-notch fuel economy. The Nissan Altima, known for its comfort and technology.
The Nissan Kicks, the perfect combination with its compact design and performance. The Nissan Versa, delivering incredible value without compromising on features. And don't forget the Nissan Rogue, an award winner for 10 years in a row. Drive it home just for $22 down and $349 a month.
Visit GreenvilleNissan.com today.
Greenville Nissan, where we drive to serve.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers does real burgers better than anybody. And don't forget about the cheese sticks, fresh salads, and more. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, burgers and sports at its best. Go Pirates! Arg!
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt & Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt & Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's Cut in Color. And let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements, local, honest, dependable.
Back to Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo.
Drink up me, hearties, yo-ho.
On 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the Colors on a Friday. I want to give a shout-out to East Carolina Tree Angels. They just did some work in my yard. Had to get a couple of trees removed. Did a tremendous job with that. Also did some extra work on the side with some shrubbery for free. So appreciate East Carolina Tree Angels. Give them a call, 252-258-2982. They will take care of you. East Carolina Tree Angels in Pitt County. Did a tremendous job over the last few days at the Igo household. All right, we've got Bobby Harward. We've got Philip Pilkington. We've got Nick Sampson in the studio. We just talked some NFL. We were talking Denver Broncos draft strategy in the break. Ashton Genty or Tyler Warren at 20 is what I'm hoping for. Get both some weapons. But let's talk some college football, gentlemen. Notre Dame, Ohio State, 7:30, I believe, is the listed kickoff time on Monday. Feels not a huge fan in general of these Monday night kickoffs, but it's better, obviously, than what we had last week where it was like Thursday. Just felt weird having college football on a Thursday. But Ohio State is an 8-point favorite over Notre Dame. I'm torn on this one, so I'm going to throw it to Bobby first. Bobby, your synopsis of this game. I know you're kind of a secret Notre Dame fan, so to speak, so you may be a little partisan. But how do you feel about this game? And give us your pick if you know what it is.
Yeah, I feel good about Notre Dame from a defensive perspective. I know Ohio State's offense has been pretty unstoppable most of these playoffs, but I just feel like defensively, Al Golden has the Irish really sound. What I am concerned about as an Irish fan is offensively, I don't know if they're going to be able to score on that Ohio State defense to keep up. That's kind of been my concern. Riley Leonard has not been blowing people out of the water with his arm. He's been doing a lot of his playmaking is with his legs. So if they can't run the football, it's going to be a long night for the Irish. But I'm just hopeful that they're going to do just enough, maybe play some ball control offense to keep Ohio State's offense off the field and keep this game close.
Yeah, it's one of those things where Notre Dame, if Ohio State jumps out early, is Notre Dame going to be able to come from behind and find a way to hang around? I don't think so. Like I just feel like it. Early on in this contest, the first quarter, Notre Dame's got to find a way to withhold or withstand a big Ohio State punch. Maybe it's creating a turnover on that first or second series to set themselves up with good field position and get an early score on the board. I don't know. I feel like the start of this game, Philip, is going to be pretty critical.
It is, yeah. I think if they get out early, it could be like a 35-10 kind of game. But if I'm Notre Dame, I'm almost watching Bobby's Commanders against the Bucks. That kind of is how they need to win this game. I thought Washington looked conservative last week, knowing that they didn't have the weapons. Yeah, they found weapons in the offense, but just didn't have the big names that Tampa had and ball controlled well. And I think to Bobby's point, that's what Notre Dame has to do. They almost kind of have to play the game that Boise wishes they would have played against Penn State. That's the style they were trying to go with. So I think they can keep it close. I don't know, Bobby, did you officially make your pick? I will say I'm going Notre Dame to cover. I think it's like 21-14. Notre Dame gets the ball with like 5 minutes left, and they're like, hey, we've got to go down and score, and the drive just stalls, and then Ohio State kneels it out. That's my prediction. So 21-14. 21-17, something like that, Ohio State.
I'm going to go Notre Dame to cover as well. I agree with you, too, in your score predictions. I think it's going to be under 30 for both teams. I mean, even last week, Texas and Ohio State was under 30 for both. Notre Dame's game against Penn State was the same. So both of these teams are really good defensively, so I think it's going to put some stress on the offense. Ohio State just has more playmakers when it comes down to it, but give me the Irish to cover.
Ohio State 8-point favorite. I think Ohio State's just a better all-around team. I think they will win big, and for that reason, give me Notre Dame to cover. Nick Sampson, who you got?
If Ohio State uses the NFL weapons they have on their team, they should win by 50. But what will Ryan Day do with Will Howard and the two backs they have? It depends on what team shows up. The team that showed up last week, they are in a close dogfight, and that's why they lost to Michigan, because they tried to play Michigan's game. They'll try to play Notre Dame's game, play slow. They need to play like they played in the Rose Bowl and put up 40 in the first half. And don't take your foot off the gas pedal. Beat Notre Dame by 80 and go into the sunset and say, I finally won a national championship.
It wasn't last week they only targeted that receiver twice, which I'm sure Texas.
Jeremiah Smith, yeah. They need to throw Jeremiah Smith the ball 40 times.
Yeah.
Even if, like, I'm sure the game plan for Notre Dame is to take him away, but you gotta get him involved.
You need to get him the ball. You have Egbuka as well, and then Cornell Tate. You need to use them, and you have two NFL backs in the backfield.
So wait, who are you picking?
Ohio State.
Okay. You think they'll cover the 8?
Yes.
Okay.
And the Pancake's point there, too, with the wide receivers. I mean, two of those guys are first-round draft picks. And Notre Dame's going to be trotting out a freshman cornerback because Benjamin Morrison, who is a projected first-round pick, competing with Savone Revel for one of the top corners taken, is hurt, and out. So they've been playing a freshman quarterback. Now, granted, I think he's like a freshman All-American, so he's been performing, but he's still a freshman in a national championship game going against Ohio State, these level of receivers here that are going to be first-round picks in the NFL draft.
Look, I get you have Zach Ertz on your team now, but did you just say Ert instead of Hurt? Like, come on, man. He had like 2 catches last week. Come on, Bobby. It's not that much a part of your offense.
Dude, my brain is still foggy. I got antibiotics in my system. It's been a long week.
Source 444 on the chat says under 30 on both team totals. Sounds like a great bet, honestly. Again, I think it kind of goes back to how the game starts. I'll say Notre Dame. I had not really watched him a lot until last week for whatever reason. Jeremiah Love, their running back, out there hurdling dudes with like a injured knee. I mean,
with an O-line knee brace on.
Yeah, like who does that? Like that dude is a ton of fun to watch. So, looking forward to seeing more of him and some of the star level talent in that game. So again, that'll be Monday night. We'll probably talk about it a little bit more on Monday's show with your brother Joe, so we'll see who he's picking, Nick, and I'm sure he'll go the opposite of you.
I'm sure.
Just cause
they'll probably say the same thing I did.
There we go.
Why don't they use the NFL receiver?
He'll say the same thing you did, and then say because you did say they won't use him correctly, but you're thinking I guess Ohio State like barely covers. I think he'll think that he'll say what I kind of said as far as like a final, but after making the points you made.
Yeah.
All right, there are your picks, NFL and college. We'll get a final break in. We'll come back. We will wrap up the show with final thoughts on the weekend ahead. This is Hoist the Colors.
The team of Flatlands Jessup is working overtime to help ensure that Eastern North Carolinians like you get the health insurance help you need this open enrollment period. New legislation passed meaning more people than ever qualify for affordable coverage. Let us help you today.
This holiday season, get the gift you really want at Greenville Toyota. It's our holiday trade-up. Drive a new Corolla, just $229 a month, or a new Tacoma, only $329 a month during the holiday trade-up at Greenville Toyota.
Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
Hey, on the mountain we've got a saying. Get off your... Show off.
Mountain Dew.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers does real burgers better than anybody. And don't forget about the cheese sticks, fresh salads, and more. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, burgers and sports at its best.
Everybody loves Tiebreakers.
Big tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master.
Unwrap a new Toyota for the holidays at Greenville Toyota. It's our holiday trade-up. Get a new Camry, $269 a month, or a new RAV4, $329 a month. Trade up and save at Greenville Toyota.
Tired of the 1-800 numbers advertising Medicare products? Flatlands Jessup has 6 offices all throughout eastern North Carolina. Get face-to-face help from our local award-winning licensed team. Stop by today. Flatlands Jessup, your whole world covered.
Everything you need to know in the world of ECU athletics. This is Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment. There are 5 games we just picked. I'm going to ask each of y'all to rank in order. What do you want to watch the most, or what are you looking forward to the most to what you're looking forward to the least? Y'all want me to go first, or does somebody want to step up and go to the plate? We know Bobby's first, top of the list.
Yeah.
We'll let Bobby start
I
off.
can go first. Yeah. Commanders are obviously number one. I mean, it's been – I was a freshman in high school the last time this happened, and I'm 34 years old right now. So Commanders are number one. The college national championship game is number 2. I'm going to go Buffalo, Baltimore 3. Philadelphia, LA 4, and then Kansas City, Houston 5. There is a reason Houston is always that 4:30 Saturday slot.
Well said, Philip.
I'm going to go Baltimore, Buffalo. I'm going to go Rams, Eagles 2.
You're a big fan of that game.
Yeah. I'm going to take the Natty at 3. I'm going to take Lions,
Commanders.
Yeah, Lions, Commanders, yeah. At 4. I'm going to take the ECU basketball game, the Australian Open, Duke basketball game, some random good college basketball games, everything else going on this weekend at 5. And then I'm going to take the Kansas City game at -4
ECU
million.
basketball over the Chiefs game?
Yeah.
ECU Wichita.
This is an NFL playoff game.
I know. Dude, they're going to kick
Over
the crap
ECU
out.
basketball. I'm not worried about the other one. ECU basketball.
Okay. Sorry. I'm taking the Australian Open.
There you go.
And then that game, and then ECU basketball.
Much better.
I can't believe ECU Wichita is going head-to-head with Commanders Lions. As somebody who has to watch the team
That's a draw.
As part of my job, I think I'm going all in on Commanders Lions. I'm going to be honest.
Let's go.
Nick, what about you?
I'm going Bills Ravens as my 1, Commanders Lions at my 2, Rams Eagles 3, the national championship at 4, and then Chiefs Texans at 5.
I got Ravens Bills top of the list. I mean, I don't know how you can top that game, unless, of course, you're a fan of the team like Bobby is. Commanders Lions is second for me. But just fascinated to watch that game. You know, Redskins Lions growing up, like 2 of the worst franchises. No disrespect, Bobby. But it's cool to see them like playing on this stage. I think it's fascinating. I love Jaden Daniels, and I love the Lions. Rams Eagles third for me. I kind of have a feeling similar to Philip that we may see some Rams magic just because I don't know how good the Eagles are. Fourth, Texans Chiefs. It's not great, but it's the NFL playoffs. And fifth for me, Notre Dame, Ohio State. I don't know. I will watch the game. I think it's just because it's 2 blue bloods. I'm just not that fired up about it. I will be pulling for Notre Dame, as weird as that sounds, because I'm a historic Notre Dame hater. Usually they're very overrated. This year they're not. They deserve to be there. And I'm tired of seeing Ohio State win championships, and I have not seen Notre Dame win a championship. So
Ohio State won it the first year of the 14 playoff. This
Yeah.
is the first year of the 12.
There you go. And we talked about it earlier. Ohio State fans this week are a little obnoxious. So, not that – and I've got a cousin who's a Notre Dame fan, actually, an uncle and a cousin. They're kind of obnoxious too, Notre Dame fans. But they're less obnoxious than Ohio State fans. So, I will say that. So, there's your rankings, your power rankings. ECU Wichita, number 6 for me. Ahead of the Australian Open. Sorry, Philip.
It's all good. I'm taking Duke and Boston College somewhere in there, too, way over ECU and Wichita State. And over the Texans game.
All right, Bobby, we got a minute left. Keys to a Commanders win. How did they pull this off?
You know, Philip mentioned it earlier. The ball control game they played against Tampa Bay, if you thought that was a ball control style, they need to slow it down even more against Detroit to have a chance. Defensively, really struggle all over the place. I was going to say we struggle in the run game, we struggle in the pass game. It's just not great. Quite honestly, it's not a great roster. And so I think next year or the year after is kind of where we see them being a really good football team. So they just got to control the clock, minimize the mistakes, and then hope that Goff is off his game a little bit.
Get a couple turnovers. Anything can happen for sure in the playoffs. And, hey, I'll be pulling for him. Bobby, appreciate your time. Hope the family feels better. I know you guys have been a little sick this week, and good luck to your Commanders this weekend.
No, appreciate it. Look forward to hopefully talking about a Commanders NFC Championship game next week.
That would be
Wow.
sweet. And
Wow, that's weird to
it's
hear.
just weird
That
to
sounds
say.
crazy.
Yeah.
I know.
Pancake, thanks for hopping in studio.
Of
And
course.
I guess have fun drafting another offensive lineman.
I'm so excited. Can we just run the triple option at this point, though?
Yeah, let's do it.
Trade George Pickens, go get as many O-linemen as we can find, and just do that.
Well, there you go. Philip, thank you for being for risking your life on a daily basis
You're welcome.
doing the
Yeah,
show.
I appreciate it. I need workers' comp.
Yeah, we'll have to talk to Henry about it. All right, we are out of time on this edition of Hoist the Colors. We will be back Monday, 12 noon, to recap the playoffs and much more. We'll see you then.